Welcome back to Week 14, Prop Shop Live. I'm your host, Bobby Stanley, also known as PropHolliday on social media, rocking with the GoldBoys. Interesting 2 games tonight for us across NBA and NFL. I don't bet hockey, and I don't bet college, but we have primetime NFL, Monday Night Football. Bengals opened up at 6, down to -4.5 against the Cowboys. And then for our solo NBA game tonight, we have the Knicks -5. 5.5 heading over to Toronto in the big OG Anunoby, RJ Barrett revenge game. I don't really have an opening monologue. Rams beat the Bills. Rams look awesome. They can contend with anybody in the league. They can also lose to anybody in the league. I was looking into it. They went to overtime with Detroit. They beat the Bills. They beat the Vikings. They also lost to the Dolphins. They lost to the Bears, and they got smoked by the Cardinals. They got smoked by Philly, which the last one is not bad. But if they make it into the playoffs, they will be the team that nobody wants to play because other than Mahomes and Andy Reid, McVay and Stafford are the best head coach quarterback duo in the league. Well, we got Tone. Even after that loss, I'm convinced Allen's going to win the MVP. Allen has it. He has his 6 touchdowns yesterday in losing effort, not his fault. He has the snow game lateral photo. He has everything he needs. He will finish as a top 2 team in the AFC. This is MVP year. I think he was plus 850 before the season started. So anybody who got that in, you are looking good. Let's talk about tonight. Let's talk about Monday Night Football right out of the gate. Week 14 comes to a close. Like I said, line was at 6. Sharp money pouring in on Dallas. We're down to 4.5 at kickoff. Going over to Jerry World. The Bengals are not fully eliminated from the playoff contention at 4-8, but if they win tonight, their playoff odds go to 3%. So optimistic as Tone producer cries under his breath. The Cowboys, despite losing Dak Prescott, are on a 2-game win streak over the last 2, but they are from the NFC East, so take that with a grain of salt. Total was at 50.5. It's down to 49.5. I talking to Tone before the show. I see this as a very big under situation. I think we're gonna have success running the ball on both running the ball for both teams. I do think Cooper Rush, who we'll talk about in a little bit, we're gonna see some regression coming there, even though the Cincinnati Bengals defense is putrid. I'm expecting some type of regression from Cooper Rush over the last few weeks. We'll talk about that. Dallas, a couple tidbits that I pulled from NFL Pro because I pay for the service and haven't looked at it in a month. Dallas with the best pressure rate in the NFL, but Burrow with the second highest completion percentage under pressure, only behind Baker Mayfield. 11 touchdowns and 1 interception under pressure this season. Flip side of that stat, Cincinnati, middle of the pack in pressures. Feels like it's all Trey Hendrickson. Cooper Rush, 28th out of 42 qualified quarterbacks in completion percentage while under pressure. Couple fun ones, a little lengthy though. Joe Burrow is one of 4 qualified quarterbacks who has not thrown an interception on intermediate throws. That's 10 to 19 air yards this season, contributing to a big chunk of his passer rating. The reason this applies to the Cowboys have allowed the 3rd highest completion percentage and yards per attempt on intermediate passes. That's 2nd most in the league. So if you're on FanDuel and you have that 20-plus reception, throw that in there for T. Higgins and Jamar Chase if you're going safe. Go 30-plus reception if you're feeling froggy. One of those two should have one against this Cowboys defense. Bengals are holding opponents to just 3.8 yards per carry on design runs between the tackles. 2nd fewest in the league. There you go, Tone. I got it. I found a positive Cincinnati Bengals defensive stat. It exists. So let's see if Rico Dowdle really keeps up that hot streak he's been on. Going over to the Knicks, I was wrong. It's not 5.5. They're at 6.5 favorites in Toronto. Only NBA game slam tonight. NBA Cup starts tomorrow night, and the Knicks are in the NBA Cup, but their game is Wednesday night at home. So they'll have a day in between. This game, are they looking ahead? You can make that. We'll see what this is with the NBA Cup, but you can have the look-ahead game with Tuesday night off and Wednesday hosting the NBA Cup at home. Raptors 6-6 as home underdogs straight up, but 9-3 against the spread in the same scenario. So maybe look the Raptors at 6.5. Knicks 4-6 as road favorites, 8 against the spread, 5-5 straight up. Possible upset. Looking like the points are good. Let's revisit the trade from late December last year. It's getting a ton of hype in the tri-state area. No one else outside of this cares. I'm sure no one in Canada cares, if we're honest. OG squares off against RJ Barrett. The two were exchanged. Included was Emmanuel Quickly, who is out tonight, and a second round pick. On the Knicks side of the ball, they get OG. They got back Malachi Flynn and Precious Achua. So a couple quick stats. Raptors put guys on the free throw line more than any other team in the league, 20th in three-pointers allowed. Should shape up to be a big Jalen Brunson game. He's 13th in free throw attempts per game, and with 6.5. So 13th overall in the NBA, 6.5 free throw attempts per game, and currently shooting a career high 43% from three on 6 attempts per game. So I think his line was at 26.5. I didn't love it at 26.5, but 25 plus is really good same game parlay piece to throw in there. I would feel safe at the 25. Let's go to my first play tonight. In this high-scoring Cooper Rush Joe Burrow shootout, I got Brandon Cooks over 2.5 receptions at -115. Cooks returned last week after missing 7 weeks with an injury. The result, 7 targets, 3 receptions, 16 yards. The yards don't impress me. The short yardage passing was very interesting to me from what I watched on that Thanksgiving Day game. The Bengals are in dire need of a win. They're nearly 6-point road favorites. I wrote this last night. They're 4.5-point road favorites. I do think Dallas is going to be playing from behind at some point. 7 targets were a positive sign for that Cooks rush connection, however you want to call it. And like I said, from what I watched in the game, it was shallow crossing routes. It was screens. It was getting him the ball quick and just getting Cooper Rush comfortable. So 2.5 receptions, I'm going over. He saw 6+ targets in 3 of 5 games this season. And I expect a similar target share tonight. So in that 6-7 target range for Cooks, he should be able to snag 3. Before we talk about my NBA play, DraftKings is making it easy to start betting. Bet $5, you'll get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Yes, it's that simple. Click the link in our episode description to get started today. Must be 21 plus, 18 plus in Kentucky or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. I do have an NBA play for tonight. I'm not going to in this Bengals Cowboys game, even though the total would indicate I should. We have a full touchdown liquor cabinet. I feel like I have enough on the game. I will play one in the Knicks and Raptors. Give me Davion Mitchell over 8.5 points and assists at -120. It's none of the revenge-related players. Shocker, but this is good enough for a 1-unit play on my end. Mitchell hits this in 17 of 24 games this season. That's 70% hit rate against this line. That number goes to 78% when he plays with Grady Dick, 15 of 19 games. Knicks ranked 29th in defending pick and roll ball handlers. And recent games, Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Malik Beasley, Micic, the backup point guard for the Hornets, all of them surpassed their PA line against the Knicks. It's random, but I think everybody, the lines are saturated for a Cooks, for a Brunson, a Cat, an OG, a Barrett. Those are going to be baked in. Mitchell should see anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes tonight. I love him going over 8.5 points and assists. It's -120. Before we go into liquor cabinet, let's hear from my boy Brad.
Wait, before we get back to the picks, I wanted to thank you all for watching. Friends don't let friends watch videos without hitting the like button. So go ahead and press the thumbs up button and like the video. If you're new here and not subscribed, you should go ahead and do so because we're dropping new content each and every day on the GoldBoys Network. We strive to cover every sport and give out picks and analysis and valuable information for free on the GoldBoys Network. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop something new. I'm Brad Thomas. Let's get back to the picks.
Touchdown liquor cabinet right out of the gate, top shelf. I had to get creative here. I think it was like -160 to -180 for Chase Brown, -160 for Jamar Chase. I'm not giving you guys that. T. Higgins is a very popular bet. I went on Twitter earlier. Everybody's on T. Higgins tonight. I went super safe. Give me Chase Brown with a touchdown and the Bengals. It's +105. I put 1 unit on this. I think Brown scored 4 touchdowns in the last 5 games. Cowboys allowed the second most touchdowns to opposing running backs all season. I'm not going to overthink it here. There's a reason it's -160. So yeah, Chase Brown with a touchdown and Bengals money line +105. If you want to go Jamar Chase touchdown And the Bengals money line is probably 110, 115. I'd feel a little bit safer with Chase Brown, but do as you wish. Mid shelf is where it's always fun for the half unit plays. Mike Gesicki plus 300, Cooks plus 310. I got one mid tier for each of the middling guys for each team. Cowboys give up the seventh most touchdowns to opposing tight ends this season. Bengals 12 touchdowns on the year to opposing wide receivers is seventh most. So Jalen Tobert's a guy who shout out to Diabetes Boy in my Discord. I think he's first on the team in red zone targets or second on the team in red zone reception, something like that. Jalen Tobert's a guy who's stealing a ton of red zone targets, but Brandon Cooks is now back. He's a savvy route runner. He's got good hands. He's a vet. He's been in the league for years. I think he sees at least one or two red zone targets tonight. So let's hope for that. Gesicki, I had a fun way to play him with his touchdown. Go under 24 and a half receiving yards and his touchdown. You get 12-1 over on DraftKings. He's not a big yak guy. Drew Sample ends up out snapping him, but he gets a lot of looks in the red zone. So under on his yards and a touchdown, reverse correlation there. You get 12-1 on Gesicki. Really fun way to play it. And my Vodka is Mike Gesicki, 2 touchdowns, 800. Put a tenth of a unit, a no sweat bet, a bonus bet on Gesicki, 2 touchdowns at 28-1, maybe 30-1 on FanDuel. I think he has at least 1-2 touchdown game in under his belt. If I'm wrong and this isn't an under, I want to be on Gesicki for 2 touchdowns at 28-1. And I got a cross sport lotto for you today. Plus 2105. You've been that 20-1, 30-1 range on these cross sport lottos. The last one I gave out, Harrison Barnes, was 3 rebounds short. Everything else hit. So we've been getting pretty close with these. Same game parlay, Davion Mitchell, 12 points and assists. I think he averages 11.3 with Grady Dick this season. So let's get to 12 against a weaker matchup. Josh Hart, 9+ rebounds. And then any quarter scoreless in this Bengals Cowboys game. I'm thinking it's the under. I think this is going to completely shit the bed. If I'm wrong, we got a whole bunch of touchdowns that hopefully we hit on. But any quarter scoreless, this is over on DraftKings. Those 3 legs are 21-1. I put $20 on it, pays $440. The last scoreless quarter from the Bengals was against the Giants, October 13th. So it has been done by the Bengals. I'd be more concerned about them than on the Dallas side. I really think Dallas offense is going to struggle today. But I'm hoping for a 24-17 Bengals win. That's how I see this playing out. 24-17. My producer, the Bengals fan, is shaking his head, even though I'm giving his team a victory. Guys, I will see you Thursday night for the Rams and Niners. It is a showdown in the NFC West. I will be souped. I will be decked out in Rams gear. But we will have some good bets for you guys. Take care. I'll see you Thursday.